On today's show,
Mitchell passes on the dunk contest, Dennis no-shows at Mavs practice, and who wants Melo?
Michael Beasley, Iman Shumpert, Patrick Beverley, who will take home worst of the week?
And get that garbage out of here! We're going to count down the top 10 plays from the past 7 days.
It's Friday, January 18th. The starter starts now.
Good evening, Sweet World, and welcome to The Starters, presented by Jack Daniel's Old No. 7 and Tennessee Honey. I'm Jay Skeets. Alongside me, as always, we got Tass Mellis, we got the Aussie Lee Ellis, and over yonder, well, some call him Trey Kirby, we just call him the Beard. It's Trey Kirby.
Hey-o!
Hey-o! What's up, Beard?
Well, I'm here at the internet looking for your best tweets at hashtag The Starters, and guys, the Bulls got rocked by the Nuggets last night, and no one took it harder, literally, than head coach Jim Boylan, who got absolutely crushed by the Nuggets' Torrey Craig as Craig jumped for a loose ball on the sideline. That's right, the road dog took a bump. Oh, you didn't know? Don't worry, guys, he's okay. He probably actually liked taking a charge out there with his boys, but it brings us to today's question. What is your favorite coach blooper? There have been a lot. But for me, nothing is better than the time Randy Whitman couldn't figure out which way to hold his clipboard in the last minute of a game, in overtime, in the playoffs. Not one flip, not two flips, not even three flips, because you think he's got it. Nope, remix. Wait, there it is. But we want to hear from you, so let us know on Twitter what's your favorite coach blooper. Send us your best tweets to hashtag The Starters. We'll hear from you later.
All right, on tonight's show, we're going to award the dishonor for worst of the week. We got your best top 10 in sports. We got a very solid play. But let's start with a little Is This News? Trey's rounded up some recent NBA headlines. He's going to pitch them to us like he's Tom Hankey. And we'll debate whether or not they're actually newsworthy.
Our first headline is from the Deseret News. Donovan Mitchell won't defend his NBA slam dunk title. Is this news? Are you sad?
No, I think this is good news.
Why am I sad?
Because you don't like it when a guy doesn't defend his title.
Yeah. No, that's in the three-point contest, there's no real reason, unless you're absolutely injured, to not go in the three-point contest because it's not all that taxing. I actually have no problems with this. He is saying he admitted that a lot of work has to go into planning a dunk contest, and it's a lot of fun, but it takes focus and practice and preparation. And right now, my mind's on helping my team, is what he's saying here. That's fine.
Yeah,
he's
but don't you
basically
want him to
no,
just
because
take
I
a
don't
little
want someone
break?
to go in a dunk contest and half-ass it.
Yeah.
That's the last thing we want. So at least he's like, look, I don't want to do it, and we'll let somebody else, shine a little bit.
He was very, very good last year. He had 4 extremely solid dunks. I wouldn't say he had either of the top dunks of the night. When we ranked them, his top dunk was 3rd on our top 5 list. Cumulatively, he was definitely the best dunker out there. But I think, unlike the three-point contest where you just shoot threes out there, maybe, no, I'm not saying, I'm saying maybe he's maxed out in dunk contest, and he knows it. And he's retiring on top. And I think that's
he did say that he could come back in the future. He didn't say that's it. I mean, it's maybe unlikely.
He's 21, isn't he? I mean, come on, he can get back in there.
He can, but he gave us 4 good dunks. How many more does he have in the bag? He retired when he knew it, and he's trying to be. Again, he could very well be there on Sunday if his team keeps winning, and his team is having a great January. They've got a nice schedule. I think he's being smart about it.
Yeah, but if he's not in the All-Star game, I mean, I think if you win it, you really, unless you are injured, I think it's almost like you have to go back in it and just to sort of go in it again and try to defend your title because the fans want to see him. The fans want to see after what he did last year. It was a really good contest. Go in and see if you can do it again. Back it up like Zach LaVine did a couple of years ago. I think it's. I just feel a little bit like shortchanged that he's just not going to go back in. Look, I respect his decision because he's focusing on his team, but come on. 5 dunks on a Saturday night. He can do it. He throws down 4 dunks in a game.
Well,
pretend it's a game.
He really is focused on the team right now, and he's killing it right now.
Yeah?
Maybe that's a part of it as well. He's averaging 30 points per game here over the last 7 games. He's like, I'm locked in. I can maybe, use a little bit more of the rest too. And that's the thing. He might play in Friday night's Rising Stars game as well. It's a possibility. Maybe he does make the All-Star game. But he's got an open Saturday now, and there is some preparation. You admit that right? That you got to put into these dunks and practice and stuff like that. And he's like, I don't want to do that because I'm focused right now on the game. I got no problem with him at least admitting it.
I like it. So we expect something new every single time. And last year when he had 4 of the best dunks of the night, but nothing extraordinary, I think he knows.
He
All
brought
right,
out-
that's enough. He can be the Utah Jazz representative on Sunday. Even though I think Rudy Gobert is probably the MVP of that team, I think the votes will come for him because they keep rising in the standings, and I think they'll be cemented in the playoff once it comes to coaches voting for them.
Okay, well, that's maybe he makes it Sunday. What about this dunk contest? Who are your must-invites? We talked about it in the office. We each picked a guy. Trey, you got John Collins. Lee, Zach LaVine.
Baptizer.
Tass, you've been saying this, and Trey as well. Both of your picks here, with Tass going with Miles Bridges and Trey going with John Collins. You guys said this in the preseason, and I'm sticking with Derek Jones Jr. I wouldn't mind having him back. But why Miles Bridges? Because, again, you've been saying this for a very, very long time.
Well,
you want him in.
it's in Charlotte.
Yeah.
He's the rook, but he's shown it since preseason that he can throw down. And he's got the public support as well. The players are all tweeting, get this guy in there. He's cool because he can throw it down with either hand.
He's got some power, too.
Very much.
He's got some good hang time as well. He really gets up there and sort of hangs in the air, so that's nice.
You want a guy that's obviously won it.
Yes,
all the time,
and this is the reason here is I like all your picks, but I like having the safety net knowing that you're going to guarantee to get a good dunker in Zach LaVine, because often we see these guys who are rookies or who've got this flash, but they get to the dunk contest and aren't able quite to perform. So you know with Zach LaVine you're going to see some incredible dunks. So I like to have him there. I also like to have a champ who's won it before, because they don't want to go out there and just say, oh, I want someone else to win, I'm happy just to watch other guys. You know Zach LaVine wants to go and win it again and really stamp his authority on this contest.
John Collins, is that because he came on the starters and then he'll ultimately win this thing?
Yeah, definitely. He will win the slam dunk contest if he goes on it. That's the starter's bump. He's also got 80 dunks in 26 games, already 13th in the league. Not to mention, he's a teammate of Vince Carter. Who better to get tips from than Vince Carter? You guys are talking about prep work. Maybe talk to the greatest dunk contest participant in history. You want to do a reverse 720? Try it, John Collins. Let's see what you got, buddy.
And I'm going Derek Jones Jr. He was in it in 2017 when he was with the Suns. He's now with the Heat. I like a guy, this is sort of what you're saying, I like a guy that's had a little experience in a dunk contest. I think it helps. He put on a show. I mean, he was just jumping over people, but he had some great dunks. He's got a crazy look to him with the crazy long legs. He obviously can get up there. I think a second time he'd be able to do it. He'd be a little more comfortable, a little more confident, and I think he could put on a show. But let's hear from you guys. Jump on Twitter, hashtag the starters. Who do you want to see in this thing? It's not going to be Donovan Mitchell, at least this year. All right, next headline, Trey.
Our next headline comes from the Dallas Morning News, and it reads, Dennis Smith Jr. was a no-show at Mavs practice ahead of the team's 2-game road swing. Is this news?
I say no, because we already knew that, he was not going to be going on this road trip. That was reported. So there's nothing really new here to me about this news, this headline. Though I don't know who to believe in this situation anymore. Do I believe that it's Dennis Smith Jr. that's just he's upset and he's sort of pouting in a way and he doesn't want to be around the team and he's asking the Mavs to trade him? Or is it more from the Mavs side of things, like they were trying to shop him and are still trying to shop him? They're just like trying to save face a little bit now by saying, oh no, we want him back. He's a great communicator and all that. I don't know who to believe here, and maybe it's a little bit of both.
It's not newsy, but yeah, they're trying to massage the situation. This guy's a good kid. You want him on your team because he's not coming back to our team. It sure feels that way. And him and Rick Carlisle, head coach Rick Carlisle, just don't see eye to eye for whatever reason. I don't know if Dennis Smith Jr. thinks his role should be bigger because it has diminished from year 1 to year 2 because the Don, Luka Doncic, is playing alongside him. That's the way it's going to work, though. Yeah, but Luka Doncic is the better playmaker. Dennis Smith Jr. is not going to have the ball in his hands as much.
You think his best bet, though, Smith, even if he does want to be traded, which it sort of appears so, is to come back and actually play for the Mavs. That's
show what
fair.
you can do.
Right.
Yeah, and Rick Carlisle said today, like, the door's open, like he's welcome to come back, but he's not going on this trip. So there is a little bit of a mixed message happening there, because you'd think if you are Dennis Smith, you'd want to say, all right, well, I'll take that opportunity and I'll try to play again and try to get out there and show my value. Because if he's not going, then it does look like he is sort of sulking a little bit by staying home. It's a very weird situation because he's only 21, a year and a half into his career, and he's certainly shown some potential there. He's not polished. He needs to work on his game. He needs to work on his decision-making, ball handling and shooting. But 21 years old, 100-odd games into his career, that's just not enough of a sample size for me to really determine what type of player you've got. I think you need to work on him a little bit more. With Doncic coming in there, it's understandable the Mavs are like, he's our guy, that's fine. Then try to find another role first with Dennis Smith Jr. because you don't want to be, you've got plenty of time with Doncic here still to figure out exactly, his timeline. They're not going to win a championship this year or next year, but if you can get a player who can play alongside him, and so far Smith has shown that he hasn't been able to, but maybe in time work on a new routine, work on a new way of trying to get those two to work together, it might grow. So it's a very weird situation. I don't think I don't think Dennis Smith is completely done with the Mavericks.
You think he'll play in a Mavericks
I think he
uniform?
could. I think he could. I just don't think it's like a lock that he's never coming back.
We will see. Trey, our final headline.
Our final headline is from Yahoo Sports, and it's based off a report by The Athletic. Carmelo Anthony has multiple NBA options and is expected to pick one before the trade deadline. Is this news?
Wow.
Take it.
Remember Carmelo?
We have not talked about Melo
In a while.
What do you think?
It's 3 weeks away. For my first question, if he's got a lot of suitors, just pick a team.
Yeah, like, what's
what
he
are we
waiting
waiting
for?
Yeah, he's been hanging out for a while. And according to the reports, the Lakers are the hottest topic, or the hottest team, the most likely team, I should say. LeBron James being there, his good bud. But I don't think that's going to work.
Well, they need to make a roster
move.
spot.
Yeah, so who would they waive?
Exactly.
It's not Zubats.
No,
After
no.
what you saw from him, not only last night, but in the last couple games, for sure.
And not to compare, put Melo in the same sentence as Michael Beasley, but Michael Beasley is playing the exact role that Melo would be playing on that team.
Yeah.
He's played 8 straight games, double digits in 4 of those games, about 13 minutes a game. That's Melo's role.
Yeah.
And he's playing it well. And you don't have to bring in another player to figure it out. I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, I can't see who else they would move on the roster apart from Beasley. But Michael Beasley's kind of making that decision hard for them by playing well and by being a decent guy, a decent teammate on that team. And if you bring in Melo, will Melo be able to accept a role that is 7th, 8th, 9th guy on the roster and only getting a handful of minutes a night? That's the big question, whether or not Melo has used this time away from the Rockets to sort of almost humble himself to say, okay, I'm no longer that guy getting 20 shots a night. I have to accept whatever role is out there for me.
Here's the other thing. He's still on the Rockets roster. You know, he's not free to sign with anyone here. The Rockets are still maybe trying to figure out, can we trade Carmelo Anthony, or do we come to agreement, waive him, have to eat some of his salary, and then he then subsequently signs with another team. He still is on the Rockets, so maybe they're still trying to get anything for him. Now, I don't think there's much out there, a team wanting to give anything back for Melo. They know he's not going to be playing for Houston. Why wouldn't they just wait it out and then hopefully have him come sign it, and all it would take is opening up a roster spot? But yeah, I hope we haven't seen the last of Melo, and I don't think we have. I think he will play this year, but I'm not sure it's the Lakers. Is there another team that comes to mind? The Blazers have been thrown around there.
They could certainly use another option on offense.
Right.
It's just, what does Melo give you back on the defensive end? That's the big question. The Blazers, you can't sign a guy if he can go for 15, 20 points, and then he gets just killed on the
I
defensive
thought
end.
the Blazers shored up their bench this season.
Yeah.
It's odd. That's
you
an
don't-
odd match to
give me a team.
I don't have one. I literally don't.
Raptors.
Let's
The
hear from you
Rockets
guys.
need
number one
guys.
team.
The
the
Rockets
Rockets.
need
Yeah,
guys
the Rockets,
to
that's the
play.
most ironic part. They don't even want him to play, and they need anyone right now. All right, when we come back, we're going to hand out the dishonor for Worst of the Week. Got some nominees and a winner.